Hey guys, good morning. Sorry for the late post, had a busy morning. But guys, I'm glad to give you guys a little short Monday morning motivation. And I just want to keep this one short because honestly, as I was driving here to work today, the thought kind of popped in my head, and it's a simple thought, but sometimes it's a hard thought. And I want to first start by reading Hebrews chapter 12, and it says this. As for us, we have this large crowd of witnesses around us. So then, let us rid ourselves of everything that gets in the way and of the sin which holds on to us so tightly, and let us run with determination the race that lies before us. Let us keep our eyes fixed on Jesus, on whom our faith depends from beginning to end. And as I was driving to work this morning, I had some flashbacks about when I first started learning how to drive. And there's this program, I don't know if you guys can still do it or not, but it's parent taught, and my dad was the one who taught me how to drive. And I remember when I first started getting behind the wheel, I felt very pressured to try to do everything perfectly and to try to do everything right and to not mess up, because if you mess up, you could crash and die. No big deal, right? But I remember when I was learning to drive, Dad would teach me one thing. Number one, don't be so tense behind the wheel. Don't be so you don't keep your arms locked, because if you keep your arms locked, it's not good. I don't know why it's not good, but it's not good apparently. But then two, when you're driving down the road for the first time and when you're trying to park, but when you're going down the lanes, you have this sense of, I need to stay in my lane. I need to focus on my lane, and I need to stay here so that way no one dies. And that's important. That is true. We want to, when we're driving, we need to stay in our lane. And that's point number one is, if I'm giving you points today, is today with whatever you're doing, with whatever life has called you, wherever God has called you today, I want to encourage you to stay in your lane. Don't focus about what people are doing in their lane. Don't focus about how fast people are going in different areas of your life, but rather focus on you and where God has called you right here, right now. But then secondly, when it comes to lanes, when you're learning to drive, what my dad taught me was, don't focus about your car within the lane. Don't try to look at the road and go, okay, am I in the lane? Am I in the lane? But rather, the best way to stay in your lane is to keep looking forward, to keep looking beyond your car, beyond where you are currently at. It sounds kind of weird, but that's the best way to stay in your lane. And this scripture reminded me of this kind of principle that I think my dad taught me, was that in order for us to effectively move forward in the lane that God's called us to, we need to not focus on our situation, but we need to focus on Jesus. We need to focus on where He is calling us. We need to focus on His goodness and His truth, because a lot of times whenever we are in a race or whenever we're just going through life, we feel like, man, maybe I'm drifting a little too much, or maybe I look over here. And whenever you begin to do that, whenever you look at the other part of the road, you will tend to drift in the wrong way, and you just make it worse. So I want to encourage you guys today, wherever you're at, whatever's going on in your life, if you feel like things are going crazy, if you feel like the road is rocky, if you feel like you're just not sure where you're going to go, just let me encourage you, trust in Jesus, follow Him, keep your attention on Him wherever you go. I love you guys. Have a fantastic week. See you next time.